Welcome in to another edition of Calling the Audible. I'm your host, Mo Khan, on this Tuesday edition. Of course, as you guys know very well, Iggy and I have decided to have a divorce of CTA. He gets Thursdays, I get Tuesdays. We split the divisions pretty much down 50-50. I get 7, he gets 7. And so for today on this show, I got a lot of guests to get to. Jeff Rosenblatt will be on to talk about Division 2. Zachary Albert Gilles will be on with us to talk about Division 5A and B. We got Manu Alaroy, who joins for Division 3, and we'll wrap it up with Laurie Ouellette at 7:45, or the last guest. And maybe for Div 6, we'll get on Iggy Magnus as well to kind of talk about that division as well as move forward here in this episode of Calling the Audible. So a lot to get to, but before we get to the guests here, some reminders though. We are in team picture mode right now. It's week 2 for most, if not all of the teams right now. Please be aware that we are taking team photos and headshots. So if you guys have not taken your team photo yet, please let us take one, at least for the time being. If you don't have everyone there, we can do a part 2 at a later date, but we like to have one team photo on file for now, and we can make the adjustments afterwards. So really important for that to happen going towards the remainder of the season. Lastly, flag belts. We mentioned last week, Iggy and I, that we have 2 price points right now, the $5 and $10 version. The $5 one is what is left of the white belt. So once that is cleaned out, we will no longer have white belts at $5. Moving forward, it will be $10 for a flag belt, which will be the camouflage FPF one, which you can get from all the scorekeepers that have them on their possession bag right now. So again, no longer $5, but $10 moving forward in this season. Also, team fees, that will be sent out. I believe the staff will have that sent out to you as a reminder of when your second payment or whenever your payment is due, which will be at the end of January. So please be aware of that. If you do have it, just follow whatever has to be done for the coordinates, e-transfer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So please be aware of that. Uniforms are now going to kick in as of week 3. If you do not have a proper uniform, so what does that mean? Proper color uniforms that everyone's wearing red, or if there's a proper number on the back of it, or if there is a marker number or a tape number, if that's the case to be, you will not get the game played or stats. So again, if you have a marker number, tape number, or no number, you will get no stats, no game played for, and that adds up at the end of the day, because remember, you need 5 games to be playoff eligible, and for teams out there, you have to be aware that you need to have a proper uniform, same color shirt at least, with numbers on the back of it that is visible and proper. If you do have that, then you're okay to move forward here. So again, uniform policy will be enforced as of week 3 going towards the remainder of the FPF season. Lastly, but not least, again, a reminder for Brossard, boot policy is in place. I know we've had some issues in Brossard. So for those who do play in Brossard on Saturday nights, you have to have your proper footwear to walk on their turf. You can bring your boots. We got to take them off, put them in your gym bag. And then from there, you can proceed forward to change and the whole night, get ready for your football game at Brossard on Saturday nights. And also, don't forget, if you are the first window games, whether you're playing at Hebert, Brossard, or anywhere in particular, that you're the first window, please take into consideration if that there's kids playing before us. As adults, just go to the locker room, change. Okay, it takes 5 minutes to go change and come with your football gear ready to roll, because a lot of parents do have an issue, which I completely understand, that they want to have the ability to do so as well. So as we get ready for this show, we do have a lot of guests to get to, Jeff Rosenblatt being one of them. We got Zachary Albert Gilles being another. We have Manu Alaroy, Laurie Ouellette. We got a plethora of All-Stars here with us. And we look forward to talking some football as well. So we'll talk some Div 2 as our first guest here at CTA. The new format of CTA is Jeff Rosenblatt. Jeff, good evening to you, my friend. Welcome into the new CTA. Can you see us and can you hear us, most importantly, my friend?
Hear you?
Oh, you can hear us now, my friend?
Can you? I don't know if you can see me, but I can hear you no problem. You can hear
I can
me?
see your beard. Your beard looks very beautiful today in the darkness.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
And here we go. We do have Jeff now officially with us. Jeff, good evening. Welcome to CTA, my friend.
Happy to be here.
So, Jeff, let's dive into it. I know you are an expertise when it comes to Div 1, Div 2. We'll talk some Div 2 with you. But before we get into that, I was just looking at the profile of some of the players. And I saw your profile pic again, Jeff. And for those who've never seen his headshot, check out Jeff Rosenblatt on the FPF page. If you were a criminal, would that be a perfect headshot for those who need to flash your photo on who you are and try to arrest you if you're convicted for something that you did wrong in life?
I mean, it's definitely a mugshot. Let's be real. That's the most ridiculous picture of all time. It's sometimes I do the caveman look in the winter, and that was probably a day where I was getting a haircut in a few days. So the hair and the beard are insane. And if I ever get arrested, I will be sending them my FPF picture to use as my mugshot. 100%.
It might be like a meme afterwards, though.
I would take it. I
Or
think
even a GIF.
it's deserving of a meme or a GIF.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. But look, you are GQ nonetheless here. Let's dive into Div 2 here, Jeff. Bigger surprise. We're through about a game or two for some teams here, but bigger surprise for you right now. Silent Ticklers or Dirty Birds Plus being winless after their campaign starts so far?
Wow, good question. Okay, you want to know something? I'm going to say equal surprise, because you look at the Ticklers with the three-headed monster of Jordan Panetta, Adam Rosen, and Daniel Mancini, who are obviously all Division One players. Very surprised that they are winless. And then, in the same respect, you go over to the Dirty Birds with Anto Brisebois, James O'Hayan, and Quade Johnson, all Division One players. Also surprising that they don't have a win. I think both of those teams are going to get off the schneid soon. They have too much talent. But yeah, I would say equally surprised that neither have a win yet.
You know, I saw Silent Ticklers play against the Bees Saturday in Brossard. And I just thought that they were missing like a component that kind of would get the engine revving properly, right? And I just thought they had a disconnect. And maybe it's because it's the first game or second game for them, and it's going to find the comfort level required to play the Killer Bees, whatever it was. But I just thought that in that situation, a team with that much strength that they have for Silent Ticklers, they should have blown away the Bees. But yet they had to chase the game and end up tying them 26 apiece. So I'm a little bit worried about them going towards the remainder of the season here.
I think you make a good point. If I'm correct, I feel like the Ticklers have been playing in Division 3 for most of their career. So, maybe the jump to Division 2, it's probably a little bit faster, a little bit more athletic. But to me, Jordan is an unbelievable quarterback, and again, with those weapons, I see him getting a lot of wins down the line.
So you mentioned wins. So what are you looking at from a ceiling perspective for wins for Dirty Birds Plus and Silent Ticklers in your mind? They're both winless so far, but are we looking at 6 wins? It's the last 5.5, or are they over 5.5?
I think 6 is the number. So I put the line at 5.5. To me, both of them are I know Dirty Birds are 0-2. I could see them easily finishing 5-5 or 6-4. The Ticklers have only played one game. Is that correct?
I believe so. Yes, correct.
Okay,
yeah.
So they're 0-1. So I could see them, definitely getting 6 wins. I think 5.5 is a good line for both teams.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to take the under on the Birds. They'll be 5. I think Ticklers can get 6, but I think the Birds will be 5-ish.
I like both those calls.
I think 5-ish would be it, though. Jeff, look, you play in the highest level of FPF here. Look at the quarterback class in Division 2. How impressed are you by the list of names? Because it's a deeper number of teams in Div 2, but there are some really good quarterbacks playing this season.
Exactly. A ton of Division 1 guys. You have, I guess, call me a Division 1 guy. You call Fred a Division 1 guy. Obviously, Joe Meyer, a Division 1 guy. Harper Sod now a Division 1 guy. So it's full of D1 quarterbacks. And then you take guys like Ben McMahon, who's up and coming, Quade, who is an amazing quarterback, and you just go down the list. It's very, very high quality QB play, in my opinion. And to me, Division 2 is a very, very strong division this year.
When you say high quality, right? You mentioned the McMahons, you mentioned Joe Mayer, the Fred Duprees, and all these guys who are Div 1 playing Div 2. The guys who don't have Div 1 acumen, who've not played Div 1, does that put in a mindset that, like, oh man, I'm playing this high-end quarterback from Div 1, I'm getting my butt kicked by his team and how this is? Or do they take that challenge and say, you know what? Let me see how I stack up against this guy to say maybe I could be a Div 1 quarterback down the road.
I think there's a little of both. I remember when I was coming up and playing, when Kev Wyeth had teams in Division Two, I was like, Jesus, I'm playing this guy, this Division One legend, and definitely, part of it is saying this is going to be a tough road, but then the other half saying, let me see how we can stack up against this guy. So I think it's a little bit of both. But I would say some of the new Division Two quarterbacks, they probably go into some of the games against the Div One guys saying, this is going to be tough. So I think there's a little bit of both, but I think it's a great challenge for all the Div 2 guys when they're playing the Div 1 quarterbacks, because obviously the next step for the Div 2 QBs is to go to Div 1. So that's the next place for them to go. And I think a lot of the Div 2 guys are there. So it's should be very, very tight, in my opinion.
So let me ask you this then. Would you give up all your career passing yards, because I think you're now number 3, right, all time in FPF, for one Division 1 or Div 2 title?
I would, because honestly, I don't care about I guess a lot of people say that, but I don't really care about the stats. It's fun to look at them, but to me, you're measured by your championships, you're measured by your wins, and that's obviously the thing that's been escaping me the most. I guess the stats for the most part are there, but losing in a lot of finals, a lot of semis. So for me, I'd give it all up for a D1 championship, 100%.
Where are you right now? Are you in an aquarium, or what's going on over here?
I'm at it's kind of hard to say where I am. I got to keep that low key. I'm having a little issue with my phone. I don't know. If you're still able to see me?
I can see you, man.
Okay, I can't really see what's going on.
Yeah, we can see you, but you can't see us. But it looks like it's an aquarium that you have in the background. That's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah, we're gonna call it an aquarium.
An aquarium. Okay, there's some fish behind you, I guess.
Yes, exactly.
The D2 team that could really surprise you is who this season?
Give me Ambush. I like their roster. I'm a huge Ben McMahon fan. I think he brings a lot of diversity to the quarterback position, very similar to Jeans Lee Alexis. Both obviously very mobile, but have arms and can throw. And I like the roster. Obviously, I love James Drysdale. That's my boy, up and comer, on his way to being the FPF stud. I like the snapper, Kevin. They have a few additions that I like. To me, that's a team. Look out for them. Could be interesting.
Wait, what's the okay? So if you're big on ambush, but what's the biggest weakness for Benny's game as a quarterback?
I would say maybe for Ben sometimes maybe locking in on his first read a little bit too much, which is something that all sort of young up and coming quarterbacks do. So to me, if he's able to go through his progressions, if the first read isn't there, look at the second one, look at the third one. I think that'll help him out a lot. Obviously, he's able to buy time with his legs, so that could help. But and just not making that throw that you don't have to make. Sometimes you got to throw the ball away, so don't force it when you don't have to. And I think Ben is on his way to being an upper echelon quarterback.
Are we looking at 35 touchdowns for Ben this year, or is it more low 30s than mid 30s to high 40s?
No, if the line's at 34.5, give me the over for him.
You think so? So that means he's got hit about 3.5 TDs per game.
I like 4 touchdowns a game for Ben.
Now is it pass and rush or passing touchdowns?
Give me passing. Give me the line at 35. Give me the line at 34.5. I'm taking the over.
Wow. Okay. Because I look at Ben McMahon, and we all see him as being a gifted RPO dual threat quarterback, and you'd figure he would get a few more touchdowns by his legs than his arm in this type of environment, though.
My feeling is going to be focusing more on being a pocket passer this season. I think he wants to prove his arm as opposed to proving his legs, which he's already done. So that's what I think we're going to see from him this season.
Fascination with hashtag an arm. What's your intrigue with this team this year? They've, Jeff, we've seen the same. You played against them. They've always had the components, right? That hey, they do have some skill set here, but they never put it together to be a force. So, are you fascinated by what this roster composition is now? That maybe they could become a factor in Div 2 this season.
I saw the first game was Travis Moses throwing. I obviously don't think he's the quarterback. I'm pretty sure it's Sinagra.
Yeah.
So you give me the guy that's winning that Canadian Heisman Award, You put Jalen Greaves, Kendall Myers, my boy Kenny Bay, who's a legend, and
Oh, how's he
Travis.
a legend?
Kenny Bay's a legend. The guy's a machine. I've been trying to get him on my teams for years. Oh, I'm going to get him one day. To me, he's one of the most underrated guys in all of flag.
Right.
And I think it's just interesting that they never seem to have the chemistry, even though they've been playing together for years. Back in the day when Alex Hollowak was their quarterback and they were winning some of those championships, that was another thing. But sort of the modern NR, the rotating quarterback, I think, has caused them some chemistry issues. So if to me, Adam Sinagra could obviously be the perfect fit, but I'm fascinated to see how this team is going to play out this year.
Like I think Snagger brings them up a level here, right? And that's because the biggest problem, Jeff, is their quarterback cast of characters. It's been a conveyor belt of names: Ryan Kastner, Sinagra as well, and a few other guys who played for them, right, in seasons past. But if Snagger can stick as being the number one guy for them, would you put them in the upper half of Div 2, or are they sort of the middle team of Div 2?
I'm going to still put them in the middle, just because I think it takes more than a season with a quarterback to really get the chemistry. So, give me them as a 4-6, 5-5 type team, because again, Division Two is so strong. But over the next few seasons, if Adam stays with them and the chemistry builds, that without a doubt is going to be a Division Two top team moving forward.
Fair enough. When you look at it now from this division, and it's still early in the game right now, Jeff, but do you have allegiance aside, but do you have an idea who could perhaps be in the finals in early May?
I'm not going to include my team because obviously we're going to the finals, obviously. But look, you can't count out the Braves. Whatever sort of facet of their team they put together. Joe has guys everywhere that he fits the cap with, and with a quarterback like that, a leader like that, and some of their weapons, it would be hard pressed for me not to put the Braves as one of the finals teams. And for another team, I'm gonna go under the radar. Give me Poseidon's Kiss.
Oh,
to possibly make it there.
Rocco
They got to
Christiansen.
they got to the Division B finals. To me, Rocco's a great quarterback. I saw Chris Millard is on the roster, and I like their defense. Obviously, Jared Taylor, my boy, is an amazing two-way player. Look for them to maybe upset a few teams in the playoffs and get there.
So what I've discovered so far in the conversation, every name you mentioned is your boy.
Look, I got a lot of boys in the league. I've been in the league for a long time. A lot of guys that I've played with. Some in touch tournaments, some in flag. What can I say, man? I love a lot of guys in the league. It's a great league. Love the players. Love the media. It's a great time for an old guy like me, man.
All right, last question before I let you go back to your aquarium adventure now. Are you taking the field or the Braves to win?
Give me the field. Give me the field. Division Two is so stacked right now. Even though I think obviously the Braves have to be maybe the favorites coming into the season. Give me the field because it's just way too strong.
All right, Jeff. Appreciate it, man. Enjoy your aquarium adventure that you have right now. Look forward to hearing what this really was, where you were off the air, and look forward to having you on during the season, my friend. Thank you so much, pal.
Whenever you guys need me, just let me know. Always a pleasure. And you guys are doing a hell of a job. CTA is one of a kind.
It's a new look CTA, but we're going to try to make it work here. So it might be a little bit rough at first, but we'll get this figured out moving towards. But by week 15 of this show, it's going to be like ESPN.
You're flying. Exactly. We love it. Yeah.
Exactly. Thanks so much, Jeff.
All right, guys. Ciao.
Take care. Have a good night, pal. Jeff Rosenblatt with us here from Div 2. And look, Div 2 this year, it's going to be fascinating because seeing Silent Ticklers play, I thought they would have wrecked Bees on Saturday in Brossard. And that was not the case to be. That was not the case to be, and it caught me off guard because Jordan Pineda is a fabulous quarterback. He's got Dan Mancini, who's a fantastic player, as you see from the highlights right now on your screen. It was a good game. And you know what? Even when you look at it from this perspective, though, the Bees with their core players, Nick Shantomo being the quarterback, David Santomo being one of his key players, David Dumont-Goulet, excellent pass catcher out there, two-way player for this team. Seb Deschamps is an excellent player as well. They have a really good roster. And, this Beast team probably has more depth to work with now than before. So I just think that, in the overall context of this division, how this could play out this season, I mean, look, you have a boatload of teams, which exactly is 14, 12 making it. So only 2 don't make it this year. And if you look at it from this angle, you might be afforded to lose 5 and still get in. If you lose 6, you're on the borderline. If you lose 7, you might be in trouble. So I think 5 wins is more than enough to get you in as a lower bracket team, maybe at 9, 10, 11. If you were the 12th seed, I think you're likely looking at being the 3 and 7 at that point, 4 and 6. So I just think this division has a lot of intrigue, a lot of panache to work with, a lot of Buccaneering styles of offense. Run it once. We had on Jeff right now. He's got an offensive roster to look at. You look at the fact that Stoics, led by our boy Chris Rive, taking the jump up. They took out Terror Squad in week 1. They're 1-0, and they're flying high. And they got a big one coming up against Ticklers coming up this weekend. That should give us a better idea of how they are as a football team this year. Cat Friendly Braves, CFB is going to be good. Ambush, Jeff said Ambush could be a team to watch out for this year and what they could present as problems with Benny McMahon taking that next step as a quarterback. Poseidon's Kiss is a good team as well. So there's some really good ones to look at, as you see from the highlights from Saturday night in Brossard. And look, what it'll come down to, and we actually had a first overtime session with Div 2 and how that plays out, it could come down to an overtime. It could come down to that one play and win that football game. So I just think that teams really have to take into consideration hitting your extra point attempts, 1 or 2 points. And if you do that, look, you're going to win a lot of football games. You're going to win a lot of football games if you hit on your extra points and don't miss out on them. So I think right now it's going to be good and how this plays out for this season and how Div 2 is. And at the end of the day, I believe there will be no undefeated teams. I believe that the highest wins that we'll see from these teams will be 8. I think 8 and 2 can win you the number 1 seed. It definitely gets the number 2 seed for sure. And I think that if you hit 9, you'll for sure be the number 1 seed. But I think there'll be no undefeateds. There won't be any winless teams as well. I think this is a division that has a lot more intrigue in terms of what could be. I think there'll be a lot of close one-score games. Not many. I don't think many blowouts where there won't be any 5 plays. I think there'll be a lot of close games that come down to the final 2 minutes of play and how this plays out. So I'm intrigued to see how this is for the season moving forward here as we get ready for weeks 3 and beyond in the FPF realm. This is called the Audible. Mokan here. We'll be joined by Zachary Albert Gills coming up. We'll talk to him about Division 5A and 5B and how this has been so far with Zach. Zach is a top end pass rusher and now a quarterback at times as he pretends to be a quarterback. But we all know he's a really good pass rusher. We'll talk to him about 5A and 5B as we get ready for that. And of course, Manu Alaroy will join us at the bottom of the hour to talk about Div 3. Then Loya Willette will join us to wrap up the hour. And then maybe, just maybe, Iggy Magnus will join us to talk about Div 6 as we wrap up the show for week 2 or week 3, whenever you watch this on Calling the Audible as well. As we wrap up the highlights here, as you see from the Killer Bees, they had their chances. They really did. But this couldn't cash in when it mattered most at the end of the day. So with this, we'll be joined by Zachary Albert Gills in the coming moments here. As he is texting me right now to figure out how to use this thing properly, but I'm sure he'll figure it out with the link sent to him in the coming minutes as we move forward here. So we'll be joined by Zachary Albert Gills in a couple minutes here, and we'll talk about that. But again, for Div 2, to wrap it up, I think 8 wins is more than enough to get you in the playoffs here. 4 is probably more than enough to get you as a bottom tier seed. 3 should be the borderline. If you're at 2, you might be in trouble getting into the playoffs. And I'll be fascinated to see this plays out with some of these teams. I think #NR is the one to watch out. I think with Snagger as a full-time commit to the team, he's going to really have a big say on this roster and this influence. He's got a howitzer of an arm. He does throw a lot of missile balls that could be easily touchdowns, if not intercepted. Who knows at times with Sinagra. But he can be the guy to watch out for how this plays out for this season moving forward here for Div 2. All right, on to Division 5 and what we have lined up for Div 5 and what has been so far this season for Division 5. Look, I see a couple of Div 5 games this year and what it's been so far. And look, I'll be honest with you, Div 5 is always that take-off league, as I apologize with my under the weather sickness that I have going on here. But Div 5 is very good. I think Div 5 has a lot of caliber teams to look at. I mean, so far, you're starting to see a bit of separation with the plethora of 2-0 teams. Ducks is the one I'm watching out for. Got to see them play week 1. They're now week 2. They took out the Babylon Club, Terry Bathurst's team, earlier this week. Rico Riders is definitely a team to look out for as well. And look, Thunder Buddies, led by the Babylon Club, that's going to be a tough team to watch out for. I think they're going to be in that conversation as well moving forward. And look, as you see from here, we can see from top to bottom how this is so far. Look, Shopaholics, Notorious CIG, Ducks, they're all 2-0. Step Bros, Rico Riders, In and Out, the Petit Carat, West Island Habibis, all 1-1. And they have a bunch of 1-1s and 0-1s and 0-2s. I think this is still far from being cemented in terms of who is the best of the best yet. But we'll get that figured out with Zachary Albert Gills in the coming moments here. We'll be joined by him to talk about this division. And Manu Alaroy as well will be with us at the bottom of the hour to talk about that moving forward. I apologize for being under the weather, but what can you do? It is that time of year where we all get colds and all that stuff, but we'll power through here as well. Just waiting for confirmation if Zach is on the hold yet. Is he there yet, Nightingale? Okay, so we're still waiting to get Zachary Albergills on with us. As you guys can't hear the Nightingale, he's just telling me that we're still waiting for Zachary Albergills to come on with us as well. Okay, look, here's my thing about Division 5 and how this has played out so far. First and foremost, this is a division that, again, as I said before, it has some really good talented teams here. Rico Rise is the one I'm watching out for. I am impressed by Ducks, though. I think they have really picked up the level of play. The unknown team that they are and what they are as a whole, I think they are definitely a team that can really make some noise. I don't know if they're going to be 8 wins, 7 wins here, but they can definitely get into that conversation as well and what they are as a football team. They have a really good pass rusher to work with. The DBs are excellent. They're quick as bleep and how they are overall. So I just think that this team has the if factors to work with and what they can be for this team here. And, it is going to be one of those divisions where you might see a team run away with it. I don't think it will be the case. As I put on my phone here on silent, I don't think it's the case here, but I think there's some really good quality teams that can sneak up and be in that conversation. I think half this division will be 5-5 or better. I think the rest will be fighting out as a 3-win, 4-win team here. And we should be joined by Zach in the coming seconds here as he's in the waiting room from what I was told. So hopefully Nightingale will get that figured out. I hope we do have that figured out. All right, Nightingale. See, for those who don't know, Eagle has been replaced by the Nightingale, which is the national bird in the Middle East. And our man, Ali Reza, who's doing an excellent job behind the scenes, making sure everything's running smoothly in the operational factory here. Wait to get Zachary Albergills on with us, talk some Div 5 and 5B as well moving forward here. So, again, when I look at Div 5, some of the teams that can definitely surprise, like the Petit Carat have always been a tough out. Passer Arabia, we spoke about them last week, Iggy and I, about how they are. They do have some, I won't say deficiencies. I think they do have a bit of, they don't lack the deep ball threat that's required to win in this division. So if they can find a deep ball guy to really get going here, that can help them as well. Vultures, I'm intrigued by them. I know they lost 30-0 in the first game here, but I'm intrigued by them. A-Squad is an old school team that's back in the flesh. They are an old school team, no question. But if they can figure out the speed of this game here in Div 5A, they can definitely make some noise and be in that conversation as being a 4-win team, if not at minimum 3 wins here. So, again, there are some good teams in this division here. As for 5B and what is going on for this division and as it moves forward here, look, the context of what it is pretty much, as I wait for this computer to load up here, it takes forever for the FPF page to load up as we haven't paid our bills yet. 5B, look, we talk about Radfins, Win Diesel, Top G. Win Diesel, we know, won this Fall Cup. 2 Squad is 2-0. There's some unique teams in this division. Maccabees have get to play a game, but they had a really good winter team last year. Retired All-Stars, I know they got easily handled in their first game, but they have always been competitive and have been a really good team to watch out. Brewers, I know, has had a tough start to the year. They're 0-2. Threat level midnight. Look, they should be better than what the record indicates this season. Betway Badness, they're 1-0. We spoke about them last week and how they are. So we'll see how they will come through this season as a whole as well. So, again, it's going to be one of those seasons where, again, it's going to be fun to watch and how this plays out. And at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I don't think the 1 or 2 seeds are going to win. I think this can be one of those teams that are hot and they're ready to go that can do it. And I think we'll see a team that will surprise and make a deep run in the playoffs this year for 5B and even for 5A as well as we move along here. Any update here, Nightingale, for Zachary Abigails as I look? Oh, there he is. There he is. There he is. There he is. He's coming in now. Zachary Abigails. And Zachary Abigails, that beautiful face of his, hopefully he can hear us now. And yes, he can hear us now. I can see him pointing at his mouth. Can you hear me, Zach? Oh, we can't hear him yet, so we'll get that corrected. Can you hear us now, Zach?
I can hear you.
Yes, sir. All right, buddy. There you go.
I apologize.
I was trying to stall for time, man. You made me like I was sweating bullets.
Listen, I got really nervous. My computer's really buggy. I apologize, and then I thought I popped in too early.
No, it's fine, man. You know what? Like I was sweating bullets, man, because I'm under the weather, right? Like it's, the seasonal change we have and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's killing me, man. So that's why. But look, thanks a lot for joining us here for 5A and 5B. I want to ask you this question to start off, Zach. We know you are a pass rushing savant. You love to kill the quarterback in this league. Do you ever go into a game and you look at the opposing quarterback and say, yeah, this is going to be a 3-sack, 4-sack game?
Well, I like to think very highly of myself, and I think every game is a 3-sack, 4-sack game. So I'm usually disappointed when I only get 1 or 2. But yeah, some quarterbacks more than others, you can kind of get a sense for maybe if you can get more or less.
So, in that sense, then, do you hear a quarterback like, ooh, when you sack him, like oh, it's gonna be one of those long days for the quarterback. He knows it's gonna be a long day that I'm going up against one of the best pass rushers in this FPF World of Wars.
Oh yeah. I mean, probably. I hope so. I hope I always leave people with that feeling. But yeah, I love going against a quarterback, getting them a couple times. Like, oh, you're trying to run. Like, listen, there's a lot of good quarterbacks out there, but I like to.
Do you know how many sacks you have in your career?
I actually have a spreadsheet, and I track the top 15 rushers, so I know exactly how many of the top.
Where you at right now?
I'm at 380 something, I think. I'm right behind Matt Kerouac. I was about 8 behind him, and then he started rushing again really hard, so I'm falling a little bit behind.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So you might be chasing him then for a while.
Yeah. Next is Ryan,
Ryan Aridi.
Oh, of course.
Is he number 1? Yeah, he's number 1.
He's number 1. And he'll probably be for a while.
Yeah, he might be for a while. So, well, we don't have you for a while, but let's talk about some 5A and 5B here, Zach.
Right.
Starting with 5A. More impressed with the Ducks, Strapaholics, or Notorious CIG start to the season? Which team has really impressed you so far?
To be honest, all of them in their own ways. Strapaholics has a really great team. When we're talking about rushers and Matt Kerouac, I think he's playing there. If I didn't see the roster correctly, like he's tearing it up already. I think he's got 5 sacks, and that whole team is looking good. Notorious CIG puts up tons of points. We played them in our first game, and they put up like 30-odd points on us. I thought that was just because we were getting the rust off, but then they did it again, put up 40. But Ducks also, I mean, beating Thunder Villains, I really thought they were going to go pretty far. I have to say Strapaholics, though, is the one I'm most impressed with. Is the one I think that can continue the trend.
See, I got the Ducks, man, because I struck up their game week 1, which was a win for them. They're 2-0, as we know. Hence by the question that we have, because they're all 2-0 teams. But I find that their defense is really good. They're athletic. They're still figuring out the FPF game. Most of the guys have not played FPF. I think 1 or 2 have played FPF. But once they figure it out, I believe that they are going to be in that conversation of top 4 going towards playoffs. Would you agree?
You know what? Maybe I'm going to be honest with you, Mo. Like Ducks, when I first checked out the whole list of teams in the division, I was like, okay, like I don't really know these guys. I haven't seen much of them. I don't know what they'll do. And then when you say Ducks and I go check them out and say 2-0, it's like, oh my gosh, like where did that come from? So like possibly like if they could take out these teams that I'm already banking on being some of the undefeated or some of the better teams, like why couldn't they go all the way?
Right. Most impressive win from the weekend was who?
I would actually have to, when I looked through them, I actually chose the Ducks win over the Villains as the most impressive. Despite picking Strapaholics as like my most impressive team, I was like, dang, Ducks, where'd you come from? What was that?
Well, look, they got the coolest logo, though.
I haven't played them. I haven't seen it yet. I got to
logo. It's the Oregon Duck.
Okay.
It's the Oregon Duck, man. It's the coolest logo out there. So check it out. So on the flip side, then, the team that concerns you the most in this division is who then?
Concerns me the most. I don't really have concerns for too many teams. I don't think too many teams are going to miss the mark of what I've predicted. Maybe in I think in 5B, the Les Tendeuses. Yeah, I thought they were going to win this past week. They didn't. That's not necessarily bad, but maybe they're already in the bottom of a rough chance. But concerning, I would say. I'm concerned about going up against the Rico Riders in 5A.
The Thunder, to start off with them, they're a young group of guys who, again, not much FPF experience because this is their first year playing the league. But they have athletes, and same thing. If they can figure it out, Zach, right? Yeah. And they can get the angles, the nuances down, and all that stuff that comes with FPF. Maybe not this year, but maybe if they stick with it next year, is where you should watch out for them because they have dudes in that team.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of teams.
By the quarterback playing how great the ball was going to deep passes down the sidelines at times.
Yeah, I don't know if I have them even in my schedule if I'm playing against them. I haven't checked, but there's a lot of teams that I've been looking at. Like in 5B, there's a lot of teams that are experienced, and in 5A, there's a lot of teams that I go in 2-3 years. Like you could be at the top, or 2-3 seasons. Sorry.
Right. West Side of the BBs in 5A, could they? You mentioned Rico Riders, but after that group, could the BBs be the dark horse team to watch out for, given who they have in that roster, which is a pretty decent group of guys?
Yeah, I made the mistake of thinking Zach Stacy could throw, but I mean it doesn't matter because Nick Malo like putting up 3 rushing touchdowns is like. I don't think he has any. I don't even know if he's got any sacks yet, but really a cool team, a great team. I definitely think they could be a dark horse, but I need to see a few more games.
If the over/under line was at 6.5, are they over 6.5 wins?
Oh yeah. I think I don't even remember what I predicted them, but like based on them, I could see easily 7.
Okay, fair enough then. In 5B, do you believe there'll be any undefeated teams? Or there'll be at least one, if not multiple, undefeated teams?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. Both these divisions real strong. I don't think so, actually. But if I had to choose one, Win Diesel surprised me. I forgot that they could be that good. And if they continue, I mean, like, I would pick them. I think Ramfins might lose one.
See, when Diesel, they had both middle fingers up at the Fall Cup, saying "bleep you guys for picking against us," and because they ran the table, right? Because they won like 9 games in 28 days of the knockout stages, and rightfully earned the title, right, for their tier. So they had that momentum coming into the season, and I just think that for Sabag and these guys taking the next step, that core group that they have, if they take the next step, I think they could be your 1 seed going towards the playoffs for 5.
100%. I'm seeing a lot of big scores, tight, like some tight games, but realistically, like I'm struggling to find a harder match or a hard matchup for them in the rest of the schedule.
Yeah, I just don't know who's going to give them the glitch, right? I think they have not a smooth sail, but they have a smooth road with no potholes to look to.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to probably beat up Brewers. They're going to beat up Green Monsters. Probably pick on Packers. They'll probably have trouble against maybe hooligans, but like maybe Betway Bandits, but like those are the only two I could think of.
But this on that flip side of things, though, right? We go to the FPF analogy when a team goes 9-0, 9-1, or 10-0, playing the easy schedule, and they get their first playoff game, and then bam, they get knocked out, one and done. Is that a worry if you are in that predicament of not facing a true test at some point during the regular season?
Yeah, I think especially in these divisions, there's some really strong teams. So if you don't have a chance to test yourself against them in the division, not to say that none of these teams that they're playing will be strong teams or won't be, but if you do end up with that easy schedule and not having to face those good teams and have to adjust your play style, then yeah, it could be real detrimental in the playoffs.
Will it take a prolific offense or a great defense to win 5B in your mind?
I mean, in any division, offense wins games, but defense wins championships. You know, you might only be able to put up 7 points, but if your defense can shut out a team, you win.
So you're saying it starts with the pass rusher then?
Selfishly, yes, but I actually think he is someone who can understand defense and call it. I can't call a defensive play to save my life.
But you don't care, right? Like you just rush the quarterback, do what you got to do. I'll take care of the front end, you take care of the back end, right?
I always consider that I have the easy job, Mo. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, it's a lot of running, though.
It's a lot of running.
Have you done a thing for how many steps you take for pass rushing?
I should put on a watch. No, I don't know.
Are you allowed to do that in the league? I'm not too sure.
Oh, watches. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
But I tell you, I trim like 10 pounds every season.
It's like it's like a race car driver, right? When they do like a race, they lose like 8 pounds of water.
I didn't know. What is that real a thing?
Check it out. Yeah. That's what they always weigh them afterwards to see how much they weigh because they want to make sure they don't get too depleted, right? Because it's a taxing thing on the body, and a pass rusher like the rare breeds, it's not easy. Yeah. So that's why. But like, are you surprised by retired all-stars and their slow start out of the gates this season?
Yeah, checking out the teams. I mean, I looked at them. I don't think I'm surprised or unsurprised. I picked them to lose in their first game. I think that was their first week coming out. Yeah, it was a little rough, but I really don't know what to expect from this team. So for right now, I'm just prized. Like,
so you're holding serve. You're not
yeah, I want to hold a little bit longer. Like, hopefully they're going to surprise me. I always like being surprised, but I don't know where to rank them yet or put them.
Okay, I'm gonna put you in the spot, man. Your finals predictions for 5A and B, starting with 5A.
I know it really hurts because I really can't pick teams because I don't know everybody yet.
Well, that's the beauty of it, though, right? Because what Peace and I have learned about doing this league, right, doing the podcast, is that we'll pick random teams, okay? And that random team will come up to us and be like, hey, Bleep Hole, you picked against us. Cool, who are you?
Yeah. Okay, well, okay,
teams, right? So that's
we'll try to take the pressure then. We'll take the pressure.
Exactly. Iggy, Peace and I do the same thing. Who are you? Cool. Good to know. So who you got?
With 5A, I'm a finalist. Absolutely. No, I can't do that. I can't pick my own team. I really think Rico Thunder might be a finalist. I really do. And the other one, let me pull up all my list. I really want
to go on a spreadsheet for your 5B teams, like you do for your sack records.
I usually always check quarterback first, see who's sackable.
Right.
No, I really think I wanted to pick Thunder Buddies originally. West Island Habibis might be finalists, but I really think I got to put Strapaholics and like maybe a Rico Riders finalist for 5A.
Yeah.
And for 5B, so far, I think I would pick top two, Ramfins and Win Diesel. I think these two would just go back head to head.
Okay, Win Diesel I got. I think they're going to the show. But we had this argument, Iggy and I. I think the Ramfins have the coolest logo in FPF.
You know, listening to you every week, Mo, I do know you think that. I can't say the coolest, but I definitely think it's up there. Top 5 that I've seen.
Okay, at least in your top 5. Iggy's like top 50.
50.
If we're lucky with Iggy's thing.
I don't even know if that many teams have logos in FPF.
Yeah, I know. For my 5A, I'm going to go a forever rival because they play each other as the West Island boys. Give me the Habibis and give me Rico Riders.
Ooh, okay.
They've had some great, like if you look at the history, right? If you do a little history trail of these teams, They played each other in the playoffs, I think, twice in the last two, whatever it is, in the last few seasons. And it's come down to the last player of the last 5 plays. So check it out if they do have if they do cross paths at some point then. Zach, when can we see your next article, my friend?
I'm actually pumping them out right after we finish doing it. So hopefully by Friday, Saturday, you got them. But I also want your predictions, Mo, for 5B. If you put me on the spot, I got to put you on the spot.
I'm just the host, man.
Perfect, as you said, with water. Yeah, so articles hopefully coming out on Saturday or Friday.
Excellent, brother. Thank you so much, man. I look forward to having you on during the season, man. You'll be on with us, whether it's Iggy or myself. You'll be on with us during the week. Can't wait for your analysis, man. And great to have you on for the first CTA, my friend.
Great to be on and catch you on the field.
Yes, sir, brother. Be good, man. And play a little fear on those quarterbacks, huh?
Try to.
Yes, sir. Zachary Abigail's with us here on 5A and 5B as we keep on rocking along here. Manu Alahua will join us. Nightingale, do we have Manu Alahua ready to roll, my friend? Oh yes, I think I saw his lovely face show up a couple seconds ago. He was working his hair right there, but we'll get him on in a couple seconds. And that will join us. And Iggy Magnus will join us. Nightingale. So we got 5 guests on with us here on Calling the Audible on this first episode of CT on Tuesday night, as we're joined by Manu while talking about Division 3, and so we'll go from there. So we'll have on Manu Alahua talk about Div 3. And look forward to talking to him about this division because it has a lot of intrigue and context to it. And are we ready to have Manu on right now? And we are about to have Manu Alahua on with us right now to break down Div 3. Manu, how you been, my friend?
Hello, Mo. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, my friend. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you. I'm good. How about you?
Well, thank you for being patient. We ran a little late with Zachary Abigail. You know, these Hollywood pastors are, man. Show up late for a show and want to take the whole spotlight here, my friend.
There's no worries. I look forward to hearing what Zach has to say with you when the podcast is out.
Of course. Let me ask you a question, Manu. I've watched you play now. I saw you play on the weekend, right, with your Don Bougie roster.
Yep.
How many hours do you spend on your hair?
On my hair, man, it's I gotta give shout out to my barber. That's all I can say, man. Because I don't spend a lot of time. It's mostly just shower and wash it with soap, not too much, and let just the natural oils.
Well, hold on. How many times do you wash your hair a week?
I'd say 3-4 times, depending on.
That's a lot, man.
Yeah, it's a lot. I'm trying to.
The reason why I asked this question, man, was because I go, man, like there isn't a strand of hair that's off. Like it was perfect. Like it was like you're driving down the Pacific, you're driving down the California coast off the Pacific Ocean with the sun setting and the horizon, and your hair was pristine.
Well, I do appreciate the compliment, Mo, and like I said, give shout out to my barber. And the product he sold me to hold my hair in place during the games.
Well, did you have to wash your hair after your beatdown of who you faced on Saturday, or was it just an easy we're done after? Because it was over. It was like a boxing match, right? It was over after one round.
Yeah, the game it wasn't really what I like for a first game. It's not really that much adversity, but it was really fun to go out there back with the guys. And to answer your question, no, after this game there was no shower. No washing the hair, no need.
Fair enough, then. Let's dive into Div 3 here, Manu.
Yes.
You're covering this division. With multiple divisions in this season here for winter 2024, the one division that has caught your attention, that intrigues you the most, is who?
Yes, so I was looking at them, and there's a lot of nice group, but I'll have to go with Group B, because Group B to me is the most interesting group. Why? Because you have a bunch of teams that really interest me. First of all, there's Bruins. This Bruins team is very, very interesting because you have Chris Vero at the quarterback. I think it's one of the first times he's going to quarterback a team in a division other than co-ed or higher division, so 4 and up. But I think he's ready for the task, and he's got a really, really nice roster with him also. But moving from that, you also have Sharks, which is a team that has loaded up talent since the last time they were in the league in spring. They're just coming off a Div C championship. And after that, you have Infantry, who is also in the mix. Really, really good team. I know the roster may change a bit, but you still have Zach Stacy and Rory Semerjan. A great duo. A quarterback that's moving up divisions and getting more and more comfortable with his reads and how to play. I really like to see Zach Stacy play and develop in this league, and with a Div 1 receiver also in his arsenal with a bunch of other players. And then you have a couple other teams that Friends with Danny and That's What She Said. Yeah. Those are teams that I'm not really sure, but they can win some games, and they can always be in a fight during the game. They won't be blown off, or very rarely. Friends with Danny, we know we have Jared Buck at quarterback. He's a really good quarterback, and Danny Damour also, and a bunch of other weapons. For That's What She Said, I'm a bit. I don't know that much this team, but I know that they were in the finals in Div 3 Winter 2023. They lost to Silent Ticklers, but I think it's pretty much the same roster. You got Mike Piercin. You got I don't think Phil Farran is on the roster though. That might hurt them because that's a really, really good player. And then you have Wide Open Bar. I don't really consider this team a contender. I don't think that they're gonna go really far. I don't know if they're even gonna make the playoffs, but they can always surprise people. And I like the move going to Div 3 since they were in Tier 3 last fall.
Well, before I give you my pick on which division is intriguing, you mentioned the Sharks as the team to watch out for. Do you think they have the most prolific offense in this division?
Man, when you asked me the question, I looked at the roster. I'm like, I know a bit guys on Sharks, and I was thinking that it was more like the same roster from last spring. But man, Corey Wolowski added some players. We got Noah Groper, who's a regular on the team. That's my boy. He's a really, really good receiver, really good rusher too. He's gonna make some plays. But then you have some big names. You have Ariel Labradi, Jalen Graves, Dondre Borden. That's a really, 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 really stacked team. When I'm looking at the full starting five with Corey at quarterback, I'd have to agree that is on paper the most prolific offense.
Well, I like that is a loaded team. They go too deep across the board, and when you look at how it is, right? They wrecked Mongoose. They got Arush coming up, who I think is a little bit wounded with no Simon Loisier on the roster. Dirty Birds, it could be a team to watch out for on their schedule. Like they could be by the time we hit the Super Bowl break in 5 weeks, Manu?
Yep.
They should be undefeated. They have a good chance. How about that? They have a good chance to be undefeated. How about that?
No, I agree. So Dirty Birds is a winnable game. Then is the game against Infantry is going to be really interesting.
Well, they know each other very well, right? I mean,
that's it.
From the history of what they have together. So yeah, but they should be 5-0.
Yeah, I totally agree.
They should be 5-0. And as for the division, the division that's really caught my attention is Group A. When you look at ECW, Jeremy White, we know very well. You know very well. Yep. Greendale Human Beings, they're fascinating because they don't run a typical offense. You know that, and I know that. Brotherhood, led by Theo Jaya. I know they lost Jamal Gittins, hopefully for not a long time, but it wasn't a good injury that he suffered in Brossard on Saturday night. Even look, Blue Chips, led by the Mitchell boys. This is a team that is sort of a wild card in this division. I'm not saying they're going to win 8-9 games from Manu, but they could win 3-4, and those would be tough games for whoever will face them this season. So I look at that Group A as being the intriguing division on what it could present. That it won't be easy games whenever those teams play each other in that division this season.
No, I understand. You got a bunch of teams that I got a lot of question mark on, except maybe ECW. ECW is a team I know they're gonna show up. Jeremy White's gonna do his thing. Greendale Human Being, I played against them once only, and like you said, it's an offense that we're not used to see as much nowadays in FPF. But it's an offense that works, so they're going to be in some games, and they made a push last winter. They were one of the top teams, one of the do believe Final Four or close to the Final Four. It's a really good team. Brotherhood, I saw them play week one against Blue Chips. Was a good matchup. Was electric. You got also Mel's Angels that I have a question mark on. Who's going to show up on the roster? Who's going to be there? Who's going to throw for them? And then Mongoose, they are the veterans of the division. It's going to be a challenge for them to compete, but they had a good season last winter, so you never know.
The quarterback who has the most pressure in this division is who?
I'd have to say Olivier Sabourin from Griff Nation, because he just ended a season in Tier 3 in fall, and now he's in Division 3 throwing. And to me, it's a big jump. But I'm not saying that he's not up for the task or whatever. I played against him first week of fall, so it's been a while. I think it was August when we started the fall season, August or September, and from then he improved a lot. So I think getting that higher division experience is going to really help him develop. And but I don't know the roster that much, so that's why I say he has the most pressure, because he's kind of new to this type of level.
Sabourin, I've seen him play a couple of times now, and he has some wow moments, but it's not consistent enough. It's not a top level quarterback where you go, yeah, that's a dude throwing the football. Like, it's 1 out of every 5 passes, like, oh wow, that's a good throw.
Yep.
Right? And so it's not like, I don't think it's him that has to win it. I think his team has to win it for him. Like, I'm not going to say he's going to go out there and win the game. Like, it's not him. It's got to be everyone that has to win it for him.
No, I get your point, but like, in my opinion, he's under the most pressure because he made that jump from. Yeah. I think he could have, his rating could have fit in Div 4. Maybe Div 5, but he wants a challenge. He wants to challenge himself. He wants to be in the top division. I think Division 3 is right. Like, there's still a gap between Division 3 and 1 and 2, but it's still really, really competitive, and you can get that higher division feel playing Div 3. So I look forward to see how the season goes for Olivier, but I like the move.
If the touchdown baseline for Olivier Sabourin was at 31.5 touchdowns, over under 31.5, what's his number?
Oof, that's I'll go under, but Olivier, if you're listening, prove me wrong and ball out, my man.
I felt the cold draft out here. I'm inside. How many teams have a realistic shot going undefeated in Div 3?
Only one, and you know who it is.
I'm not saying who.
Mr. Ignacio team.
Get out of here, man! Like, that's such a cop out, Manu.
It is, but it's I put it in my article also. It's the team that I see going 10-0. Why? Because you have Iggy at quarterback, and Iggy just keeps on proving to me that he's one of the best QBs coming up in FPF. If he didn't play yet like a full season in Div 2, Div 1. He played Div B, but man, he's so smart, and he surrounds himself with great roster as always. And yeah, Vincent Benjamin on this team. This guy is always surprises me. So I know they lost Oriola Poirier, but they added also Mr. Drysdale to the mix. So
here's a question for you. You realize Iggy had us on mute, Peasy and I, for a 3-hour show last year.
for the whole show?
Whole show.
Man.
So is he that smart? I'm not too sure. But here, I'll say this though. For his roster, yes, I think they're in that conversation. But I think your boys, Dam and Bougie, I know it's one game.
Yeah.
Man, it felt like, I'm not trying to stroke your ego here, but it felt like it was a college football game, like Alabama playing like Nowhere State University and winning by like 25 million points.
Yeah.
That's how it felt. I'm like, ooh, this game is over. Like, I can just coast along here and not have to worry about it. Hopefully the stats are okay, but I'm saying that
the stats were not good.
Yeah, it wasn't even close, right? And that's why I just think that Look, this is what I think is going to happen, Manu. I think there will be a team that will give a good run to be undefeated, but there won't be any undefeated by the time we end off the regular season campaign.
And I agree with you. Also, for me as a player in Diamond Bougie, I don't mind not going undefeated because we had a season last fall. We went 7-1.
Right.
Basically, we were undefeated other than the week 1. We lost week 1. Then after that, we were undefeated. And man, we got punched in the face coming into playoffs.
Oh, I know.
You know.
I saw that.
Up 17 against Dirty Birds, and we lost the game.
That game.
So you saw the meltdown, but this year we're coming different, and we want to make every game total domination, but we know that's not going to happen because there's some really good teams, but we're going to show up every time, and we're going to bring our the energy, the Diamond Bougie energy.
I'll say this: your hair looked splendid during the meltdown last year. So.
Well, at least one thing was going well.
Right, exactly. Before I let you go, you look at the defensive stats already. We're through a game, if not 2 games. There's a handful of guys with 3 INTs, 2 INTs. Like, is this bad quarterback play or is this better defensive players?
Man, I'm debating because I'm looking at that. There's already so many players with picks, and it's week 1. Teams that played 1 or 2 games. Man, I'm surprised. Yes and no, because why? Because there's between the fall and winter season, there's some teams that don't play fall, so it's a longer break. Quarterbacks and everybody's got to get back into rhythm. Me personally, in few of my teams, we had to get into rhythm, drops, bad passes from the quarterbacks, bad coverages, a bunch of things. But it's week 1, week 2, you shake it off, and I think we're going to see the number of picks lower. But still, man, it's surprising because, man, it's Div 3. I was that so many picks? Is the defense just got that much stronger? Maybe that's it.
Well, Marvin Steinberg has 3. He's on pace for 30, which would obliterate the record of 19 set by whoever it is for FPF records as well. Last question here, Manu. I didn't put it in the script. I'll ask you on the spot. Your Div 3 finalists and who's going to win it. Taking away Diamond Bougie, right? If you take away your team, who you got winning Div 3?
Do I give you the cop out or no?
No, give me a raw, authentic bleep you answer. Like it's important to create headlines here, Manu. You want to be like like Taylor Swift this whole process.
So there you go, Mo. My winner for Div 3 is going to be Bruins, and my finalist is Kiss My In-Laws.
It's a really boring final.
Well, I would like to say maybe Easy W, but they always kind of they never quite make it. So I don't know. I have a feeling with Bruins, man. They got a crazy roster.
He's running like a 25-minute offense for a 22-minute half.
Yeah, I know. But okay, a more risky answer, I'd have to say maybe lightweight. Going in the final.
Okay, Simon Dagenet, right? Joan Angel, okay. Trey Bentley,
Simon Dagenet, yes. And
hey, I'll give you a dark horse name for that team. Emile Grégoire. He's the guy to watch out for lightweight under Simon Dagenet.
Emile Grégoire, yes. Yeah. Has he played before in FPF?
No, I don't think he has, but I know him very well. Emile is a really good receiver. He's a dude.
So I'm definitely keep an eye on him because as I see right here, he only has 1 game played in FPF. So looking forward to see what he can do this season.
Lastly, what's next for you for Div 3 in articles and the whole hype from you coming up?
Yes, so I will come with a new article every Saturday. We'll try to release it Saturdays because there's a lot of games Saturday night in Brossard. So just right before, I will try to post it during the afternoon so people can read it before the games.
Right.
And I will try to add some different stuff to the format, not go only with game recaps. I will do some game recaps because most of the times I'm there at the field, so I look at the games. But there's going to be a bunch of stuff, and I'm taking inspiration from my good friend Jerome Ovington, who's also writing for Flagpus, but in Division 4A and 4B.
Right.
So make sure you go also read those articles. But yeah, I'm trying to improve. So it's my first time doing official writing, but I'm very happy to be part of the team.
My advice to you: believe when anyone cares. Just write what you think is right.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, and be as real as possible, but keep it entertaining for people.
No question. Manu, thanks so much, my man. Have a great week and look forward to your article coming up soon.
Thank you a lot, Mo, and thanks for having me on today.
Always, my man. Speak to you soon during the season. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. See you, Mo.
Take care, pal. Manu Alaroy on with us to talk about Div 3 as we keep on moving forward here, and he's got fantastic hair. We'll be joined by Laurie Ouellette in the coming minutes here. Nightingale, is she in the waiting room or is she still Yeah, perfect. Excellent. So we'll have some highlight videos here coming up of women's, and we'll get that organized for you as well. I think it's the women's division that we have lined up here. Oh, I beg your pardon, Division 3. So we have Division 3 coming up here as well as we look to see what's going on in Division 3. And there's some highlights from Brossard that happened on Saturday night. And some good games that happened in Div 3 that I got to see as well. And so we'll see how this plays out for Div 3. I think there's a lot of questions, though, in Div 3. I think how this plays out this year. If Jamal Gittins is out for Brotherhood, that definitely hurts them. But I still think Brotherhood has enough firepower to be in that conversation with Easy W to make noise in that division. Also, when you look at Blue Chips, they are going to be a wild card in how this moves forward for them. I agree with Manu, though. Bruins will be an unbelievable tough out. As bored as they are as a football team, when you watch them play, they're still efficient and they still have the edge to work with. He mentioned Wide Open Bar. I think Wide Open Bar has a really good team. I think they do have pieces in place to be a 5-win, maybe 6-win team if it falls really good for them. Friends with Danny will be tough, no question, with what they have on that roster to work with as well. And I think also when you look at how this is going to look for Group C and Group D, he's right about lightweight. They're sort of a dark horse team. Juwan Edgehill, Jamie Edgehill, Emile Grégoire is a really good player. Trey Bentley is a very good player. If Chaz Kidder is a full-time player, and Simon Dager making his first appearance back in FPF in quite a long time, I think that's going to be fun to watch how this plays for this team as well. Diamond Bougie is a good team. We know they're going to be loaded and how they have Jerome Hovington, Manu Laroy, quarterback plays excellent as well. And Beer Belly Brigade, they're off to a 2-0 start. I've seen them play so far in 2 games, and they have really put together a good team. Fafal has really elevated his play. He's now more of a mature quarterback, not always relying on his legs, but using his arm to come up with a big play here and there. So they definitely do have some good pieces to work with in this season, as you see from the highlights there on your screen, how this played out in FPF. That is from the Diamond Bougie game and how they just ran, and I see this in a nice way against UPBF, and how there was. I think, like, for UPBF, they're a team that's all primarily tackle players from McGill University. They are a good team, but I think they're going to take some time to get going as well in this football season for FPF moving forward here. As we get ready for women's, it is an unbelievable season for women's football in FPF. We have 2 excellent divisions split up, I think, relatively well in terms of the filtering of tier of women's 1, women's 2. Women's 1, we have 6 teams: Sub-Zero, Bees, Blue Poudre, Les Bleus, Brutes, and Vortex. And these are teams that is littered with potential Olympians, potential future Olympians that could be playing in LA in 2028 when it makes its debut as an official Olympic sport in flag football. And I think there will be a handful of our excellent female content that will be at the Olympic Games. And 4 years or so from now, in about 48 months, about 52 months, give or take. And I think this women's 1 this season is really up for grabs. I don't think we have a true definite favorite. I think Sub-Zero will be your ultimate favorite, but I think they can be had. I think a team like Les Bleus, who had a tough out against Sub-Zero, they're going to make their way back into the equation. They play Brutes coming up in the next week or so. Bees, coached by Sarah Parker, a young team that's still figuring it out. Les Blue Poudre, they are a good team as well. So there's some pieces here that's going to make things look really good for the season. And I can't wait to see how this plays out for women's 1. Women's 2, a lot bigger number of teams in women's 2. I believe, if I stand correct, for women's 2 and how many teams there are, I'm trying to get the league up here, and here we are. This is women's 2. There is, I believe, I forget how many teams there are as I wait for this page to load up here. The FPF page takes its time sometimes here. There is 19 teams, so 16 out of 19 make it. I still think there's a little bit more of the unknowns yet. I don't know if we have a certain point of or certain number of teams that we know is very good, but we'll find out as we move forward here. Nightingale, do we have our next guest ready to roll, my friend? Here we go. We have the way it works with Nightingale, that he gives me a countdown in my ear, so you guys can't hear what he's telling me. Like, he can tell me to bleep off, and you guys wouldn't hear that with Nightingale. So he's a lot nicer than the Eagle. Eagle is very mean at times. You get to feed the Eagle sometimes here as well. Are we ready to roll with our next guest here, Nightingale? And we welcome in our next guest. Apparently, she plays flag football. Hello, yes, Laurie Willette. Good evening, good afternoon to you, Laurie. How you been, Rudy?
I've been good, and you, Mo?
I am well. Why are you so quiet for? Why are you so shy?
I don't know. It's been a while since I've been on the podcast.
Has it been a while? When's the last time you've been on the podcast?
2 seasons ago, maybe.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah, a while.
I guess we can blame Iggy, right, for not having you on the show. I always say it's about.
Are you alone today?
I think Iggy's one to. I am alone. It's only myself. It's you and I. So I can't scare you though. I can't scare you though.
I'm glad.
I can scare you whatever I want. So anyway, you're doing you're doing women's 1 and women's 2 this season. Sorry.
I'm only in the women's 2 this season.
You only play women's 2, but you know women's 1 and women's 2.
Yes, I do.
Right. So you're like, I was talking to Iggy about this. Your thoughts on, before we dive into the questions, but your thoughts on how it's broken down with the 6 teams in women's 1 and we have 16 in women's 2 or 18, whatever it is, in women's 2. Do you think there's a lot more parity within these divisions now than before?
I think I think it's well devised. Like, there's clearly a distinction between both of the divisions. Like in the women's 1, it's more like university teams or teams that have been playing for a while together, like Vortex or Brut, which are awesome teams. And I think women's 2, it's mainly like new teams that are coming in or teams that are just starting to play together. Like, example, my team, Kiss My Boots.
So when you look at it now in women's 1, Sub-Zero, yes, do you think they have any weaknesses on their roster or in their game that they have?
A weakness on the roster, I wouldn't say like a specific person, but I know if you would play against them, one of their weaknesses, if you attack Sarah Parker, for example, you take away her main reads, like Émilie Carrier or Caroline Moquin-Joubert, I'm sure she's gonna hesitate for a while. So that's when you could like get interceptions and everything. But that's one of the weakest things I could think about. But other than that, they're a good team.
So it's not to pick on Sarah Parker or anything, but when you say attack Sarah Parker, you mean like a pass rush, like a tall pass rusher, or are you just talking about taking away her first read?
Taking away her first reads.
Yeah,
you take away her first reads because from experience, I played against them in the co-ed last season. And if you take away her first reads, like, she's going to hesitate for like a little bit, but after that, she finds a hole. Like, she's really fast to find one. But take away her first read. That would be my weakest part.
Have you ever gone into a game like in the women's league or whenever you play a team in FPF, like, oh man, it's going to be a long day playing this team?
Well, I mean, when there's a clear distinction between my team, and playing against another team, then yes, it could be like a long game. But other than that, no. Like, pretty much the competition is pretty close.
I mean, we see some highlights of you dropping footballs.
Wow.
I'm just saying, like, we see you drop footballs. That's we can do like we have Chris Rebay, our camera guy, operated do a highlight package.
Send me the clips, then we'll talk about it.
FPF top 10. Laurie will let drop balls.
Yeah, drop balls. Oh my goodness, you had to go there, huh?
Women's one. There's a big game this weekend. Le Brut against Le Bleu. Both teams have not won a game yet. Bigger game for who this weekend? Brut or Le Bleu?
Bigger game for Les Bleus, I would say that, with reason. I believe because we know like Brut have been playing for a while and like they've been like dominating a bit like the women's division. They've been playing together for a while and everything. So I think if Les Bleus are able to get a win against them, it would give them an advantage for the season.
Well, here's I watched Les Bleus play week 1 in Brasso against Euro. They're a very good team. I mean, they're national power, right, for women's flag football. And I just thought that they were just missing that finishing touch to win that type of game. And, for both teams coming into this game here, Brut, very good team. We know who's at quarterback for them and what they have as a roster. I think what it might come down to is the extra points. And who can convert on those extra points, because it might be a 1 or 2 point victory for whoever wins it, and whoever misses that 2 point convert or that 1 point convert, they could be starting at an 0-2 start to their season, which would not devastating, but it would hurt their chances to be a top seed, if not top 2 seed.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's gonna be a close game, and it really depends on the converts because we know both teams could get some touchdowns, they get some points. It's gonna really come down to the converts, either 1 or 2, who can get them. So yeah, I think.
Fair enough. Vortex, they're 0-2. Are you surprised by their start to the season?
I am because last time I heard about Vortex, they had an amazing roster. They've been playing really good. So the fact that they have 0 wins up to now, it's pretty surprising. But I think they have a different roster this season.
Right. It's a bit alteration to the roster.
Yeah, so it's not the same one as when they won in the championship finals.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. That's for sure.
No, it's a couple people left. I think.
Of course. Women's 2, Laurie, you know this division very well. You are involved with this division this year. Surprisingly, I was like, "What's Laurie doing playing women's 2?" I thought she was just getting the water for the team and stuff. Carababes, would you say they're the favorites to win women's 2 this season?
Yes, they have a pretty good chance, but I've seen some of the teams that are in this division this season, and I think there could be an upset. Like I know Cavalier, and I know like Trappard and everything. They have a pretty good roster, but Carabao have a good chance at being in the finals.
I think they should be in the finals.
They should.
They should, because they have the acumen, they have the menu of talent to really make. Like I'm not saying they're going to run away with women's 2, but I think they will be a top 2, top 3 team.
Oh, for sure, that's great.
Go ahead.
They have great. Thank you. They have great athletes. I played against them in my first game, and they're really solid. They know how to play together. I think they've been playing for a while also. So no, they have a pretty good shot at being in the finals.
I know. I saw them beat you last week.
Yeah, but we went to Sean. I'm only gonna say that. So.
but I think, like, would you say 8 wins should be enough for Carabao to get the 1 spot in this division?
Yes, I believe so.
All right.
Yeah.
Should I buy stock in XNX or Le Petit Miette?
I'd go Le Petit Miette. I think I know XNX, they have a good quarterback, Maya Bifazio. She throws some really good balls and she's really good on defense. But in terms of a team, I'd say Le Petit Miette. They have better chemistry. They've been playing for a while also. So I would go stocks for Le Petit Miette. Who would you choose?
XNX had that win over Red Nation. But Red Nation didn't have Alison Sobel playing, right? Because she had a medical, she was not feeling well, and so she didn't play. She won't play, I think, next week or whatever it is. Okay. So if Sobel plays, I think they win that football game over XNX, right? I think Red Nation is a lot better with Al Solo's quarterback than Lamise
course.
Aljundi.
Yeah.
So, but I know what Le Petit Miette give you. They're a good team. MCV is a really good quarterback. I think they have a really good deep ball. I find.
Yeah,
I think
they have potential.
they throw a really good deep ball, and I think they have a good, not a great, but good defense that come up with a big play or two along the way. So I really think that they have a chance to make some noise in women's two. I believe they can win 6 wins. I don't know about you, but I think they can get 6 in this division.
Yeah, depends who they play against, their schedule, but I believe so. They could get a lot of wins in this division. They could be in the high 6 teams, I believe.
Okay, fair enough. Then back to women's one here before we wrap it up here with you, Lahi. In women's one, to predict who would win it, would you take Sub-Zero to win it or the field to win women's one?
The field? What do you mean by that?
Everyone else.
Oh. I'd go for Sub-Zero again. I know they've been winning a lot lately. They won the Co-Ed 1 recently and everything, so they have a solid roster. They have amazing athletes. So I think even if they play against other university teams, they still have good chemistry, and Sarah Parker knows how to throw the ball where it needs to be, and she has amazing receiver that can catch them. So I think, Sub-Zero.
Fair enough. Your prediction, I know you play women's two, but if you take away your team in women's two, who do you have in the finals and who do you have winning women's two this season?
In the finals, I'd say Babe against either, I don't know, Ibu. I think they've been playing really well, or Les Trappeurs. Okay. And winning. Go ahead.
Okay, no, I was gonna say I got Cavaliers making it.
Oh yeah, you think so?
Because they've been in the league for a while now. They've been kind of growing. They're a stage up team, right? Champlain St. Lambert, which here, right there. Nice. Not to be biased or anything, but if you speak to Kevin Lubin, who coaches them in flag football at Champlain and helps them here, it's sort of building up, right? They've been building up towards this moment. I think the moment's now where they win 7, and I think they can look, if they're not going to win it, I think they get to the final 4 of teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, I could agree. I don't really know Cavalier that well. I know a couple of girls on the team, but I've seen them play. They could get some wins, and I agree with you.
You always agree with me.
Yeah, why shouldn't I?
Because apparently I scare you too much. That's why.
Exactly, I have to be on your side either way. So.
Anyway, Laurie, before I let you go, what do we have lined up for women's coverage and all of that, plus more this season coming from you this year?
Women's coverage.
In terms of what you're going to cover for us and help us out during the podcast.
I think there's a lot more to discover in Quad 2. Women's too.
Of course.
There's a lot more to discover. There's a lot of new teams that I believe could surprise us. So I think we'll see how it goes, but there's going to be surprises here and there.
And we should see some stuff from you on social media with you and Chris Rivet coming up this season as well?
Yes, I am helping Chris Rivet with some interviews. There's been one that came out for the beginning of the season, the FPF opening. So there's going to be plenty more coming in the upcoming weeks until the end of the season. So check out on the Instagram for that.
When's my interview happening?
I told him not to interview you this season.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough, Rudy. Well, Lonnie, thanks so much for coming on with us to break it down for women's 1 and women's 2. I'll see you around. I'm sure we'll cross paths again.
I'm sure we'll see each other again also.
Absolutely. All right, Rudy. Be good. Have a good
night. Of course. You too. Bye-bye.
Yeah. All right. So there we go. Lovely with that here with us. I believe we're going to be joined by Ignacio Valdez Manzanato as I look to see if he will join us or not here. I think he is, as I confirm with him. So we'll be joined by Iggy to talk about Div 6 in a couple months here. And for women's, again, like I said, this is going to be a breakout year in terms of the women's too. I think we're going to see a lot more parity in this division, and it's going to be fun to cover as a whole. And I can't wait to see how this plays out for women's too moving forward. On to Division 6, our last one of the evening here on Calling the Audible, the Tuesday edition of Calling the Audible. Thursday, it will be Iggy who will cover the divisions that I didn't cover today, which will be Div 2, Div 1, I think, Div 1, Div 3, I think, whatever it is, 4A, 4B. He's got a whole bunch coming up here as well. So as we move along here in this division, as we get ready for what is going on here, Div 6, a lot to look forward to in Div 6 and how this plays out. First and foremost, in this division, it is one of the bigger divisions that we have this year. That's going to be covered by Brent Bachkin. So we're going to have Brent Bachkin, who's going to be covering it, who's not on with us this week. He'll be on with us next week as we move forward in this situation right now. Here's what we have to look forward to in Division 6 and what we have lined up. I'm waiting for this page to load up as we are patiently waiting for this to open up here. Here's what I'm looking forward to in Division 6. There are some teams I got to see play. Vincent Rachard and Trap Stars. They had a tough go at it as well. They didn't play as well as they should have done so in this opening weekend of games for them that they had in Brossard. And it's going to be a fun season how this is going to be for everyone as well. And as we look now for Division 6, as the website is still taking a long time here, I apologize. We have a lot of glitches right now on the website and how this is going to unfold for us this season. But here's the thing I'm looking forward to this year. With Division 6, I am curious to see if there will be a winless team. We don't have it often, if ever, but Division 6 always a first year teams. Teams are trying to figure out FPF and how it operates and how this plays out for them and all that. But I think that it's going to be a division that will see some good competition. I think we have some good quality teams coming up here in Division 6. And we'll be joined by Iggy. Nightingale, what's Iggy's stats right now? Does he come up in a few minutes here? 2-3 minutes. So is that Iggy time or is that the normal time? Iggy time. He's going to come late, like 20 minutes later than normal, right? Okay, so look, we'll cover Div 6 as much as we can now. And as I said, Brent Bachkin is the article writer for this. He has an article out right now previewing the season, giving his predictions of who he thinks to watch out for and how this can play out for the season as a whole. But I look at this division and how this could be overall. There's some really good teams out right now in this division. I do like the composition of the division that we have in terms of the top tier rosters and all that comes with it. But also, most importantly, though, I think that, as I said before, I'm curious to see if there will be a winless team, but also I think that this is where you find the diamonds in the rough, the guys that will be players to watch out for in the coming years that will be big-time players in this division. And I think in this whole brain of Division 6, how this plays out, it's going to be fun to see how this is going to move forward here. So I am excited for how this is going to go forward. As I wait for this page to open up, and I don't know what's taking so long. Here we go. Now we finally have the page open up here. We got 40 teams, or 30 teams to be exact, in this division. Mutation, Meat Fiddlers, I'm excited about. I think Meat Fiddlers, led by Manny Bezogias, is starting to elevate his profile in this league. Gavier de Rohan is a team that I think is going to be a dark horse in this division. And Texas Chooches, they are a team that has played very well this year and has really stepped up to the plate. But you see right now, there are a couple of undefeated so far in this season. And what has happened so far with Mutation, Meat Fiddlers, All Ball, Demons, Royals, with Step Bros and SMTD and Salt and Pepper. But I think right now, and what this is going to be for everyone else in this division, is that can you win the easy games? I think those are going to be the ones that really obtain the credit for you to get back into this conversation and being a top tier team. And I think at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, it's going to come down to how hard was your schedule? Because in the lower divisions, we know that if you have an easy schedule and you go 10-0 and you hit the playoffs, it can hurt you. it can hurt you a lot. So that's why it is important that you have to look at this situation and say to yourself, well, if we have a tougher schedule, we go 5-5. Are we more battle tested? Probably so. So that's why I think it's important that you have to have a tougher schedule of games that you are prepared for. Because Division 6, you might think you might waltz through the whole thing and go 10-0, run through playoffs and win the championship, which has not been the case. A lot of undefeateds have been knocked out. So I'm intrigued to see how this plays out moving forward in Division 6 and what this could be this year with these 3 teams. And again, the playoff format, as you guys all know very well, for the breakdown of what this is going to be. 24 of the teams qualify. Big pardon. This is the old format, which we have to get corrected here. We'll get the new one lined up for you guys moving forward. So we're joined by Iggy Magnets in the coming seconds here. I think we have another minute or two before Iggy joins us here on Calling the Audible on the Tuesday show. Iggy will be on with us Thursday as he will cover, again, the co-eds. Div 1, Dan Lazaro will join him on that. He will have Div 5A and B. He will have 35 plus and 35 KTFL. And he will have co-ed as well. All 3 divisions covered for you on Thursday shows with our contributors as well to work with on divisions that I'm not doing here on Tuesday nights. Nightingale, do we have an update with Iggy, or are we still up in the air with him right now? You know what? You're absolutely right. For those who know Iggy, when he says he's there in 10, he's there in 25 minutes. So he's telling Nightingale, our producer, that I'll be there in 30 seconds. But in reality, it's like 5-10 minutes. So I might have to really borrow some time here and get this going here as we'll have Iggy wrap up Division 6. And there he is. There he is. He's now in the tarmac, ready to roll. Iggy Magnets on with us. Is he ready to roll, Nightingale? Is he in the room now with Mokan? And here we go. Iggy Magnets. Good evening.
Hello. How's my audio this time around?
Sounds very well. Sounds very nice, my friend.
Okay, very good.
You know what? It's been a fun night. We've had a lot of guests, thankfully, and trying to get, look, this CTA format, I know it's different from the traditional in studio that we face to face, but we're going to get it smoothed out. Like, it's going to be better as we move along from a time perspective. Hopefully, Iggy's voice is going to be good with his headset and all that. But let's dive into Div 6 here, Iggs. I know Brett Bakken is the writer. Unfortunately, can't join us tonight. But your quick thoughts here on Div 6 and how this has been played out so far this season.
I mean, Div 6 is kind of what you expect it to be. A lot of new teams where, the offenses are struggling a bit. But I'm already seeing an improvement over week 1, week over week.
Oh, yeah, we have a little static in your headset there, Iggy. Oh, boy, Iggy, it's over. Oh, I think it's your dog, Iggs.
Where's my dog? He's here. What?
Yeah, Iggs, you got to join the computer, my brother. So we'll have that corrected with Iggy in a couple minutes here, as this has been a wonderful show. Man, do we miss peas? But as Iggy was making the point before with some of the teams so far, it's something that, again, this has been a good start to the season, to the campaign here in Division 6. And I think right now it's still a lot to unfold and how this can play out in this division. And I think now, are you good to come with us back? Is he back in here? Oh, he's got to remove the audio and come back in here. So maybe go on your phone, Iggy. Maybe your phone might be the best play over here to come back. Oh boy, Iggy. Iggy, man, your phone is it's really tough here, my friend. So Iggy's out. Hopefully he'll come back in and we'll wrap it up with him quickly here and get this show all wrapped up here. Again, it's our first real show of doing this by ourselves. We don't have Iggy holding our hand. We don't have PG here. I don't have Iggy here and vice versa. Iggy's going to join us now in a couple of seconds here. Is Iggy back in there, Nightingale?
I should be good.
Yeah, Iggy, you're back, baby. Awesome.
There we go.
All right. We got to be quick with Div 6 here, my friend.
All right. How's it sound now?
Much better. You sound like Slen Dion. All right.
There we go. Yeah. So look, Division 6. Division 6 is what it is. Offense has struggled. However, what I was saying is that week over week,
I'm already seeing an improvement. Week 2 into week 1, Shamedy Shodes would be one of those teams that struggled. I think put up 6 or 12 points in week 1, but put up 30 in week 2, right? So already seeing an improvement in some of the offenses. But you're going to see a big learning curve from weeks 1, 2, going into weeks 5 and 6 later on in the season.
Yeah, I'm looking at Meat Fiddlers. They're second place right now in Group C. They we spoke about them, Iggy, in seasons past. Offense wasn't really prolific and kind of like the Eagles' offense of this year, right? Not spectacular.
No, thank you.
Nice little shot towards you, but I think now with what they've done so far, I know it's a 2-game sample. If they continue on this projection and trajectory up the ladder here, up the hill, they could be that conversation in that Final Four conversation that we could have once we get down to the nitty-gritty of the playoff run.
Yeah, Meat Fiddlers, Manny Bezogias taking a second crack at quarterback here in Division 6. He's reached out to me actually for some of my plays. So the ever branching Peas playbook is reaching the hands of another Division 6 quarterback. So I'm like you. I'm interested in seeing how that offense develops. Another one team I've seen twice now is Mutation. They're mutating into their best form now in Division 6. Not sure who the full-time quarterback is, but if it is their week 1 quarterback, look for that Terbon quarterback. Apparently, according to our sources here in FPF, he's played in the Terbon League, playing in the equivalent of a Division 4 in FPF. So if he's their starting quarterback for Mutation, look for them to put up the points in Division 6.
Free agent squad. Our boys are on that team.
Yeah.
Easy, Eagle. They got a pretty decent squad here.
Did you happen to take a look at their first game?
I did.
In Laval. You were in Laval.
I was not in Laval, but I saw the box score, and the free agent moniker is coming through with a proper team.
Yeah. So I mean, when you Division 6 and any division, if you have a quarterback that knows what they're somewhat doing, and that's what you get with Tyler Stewart. He knows the game now. He's played 4 or 5 seasons under his belt, not all as quarterback, but once you get an understanding of the game, you're set up for some level of success. And look, 46-18. Sure, they're playing a brand new DG Shooters in their first ever FPF career game. But when you have a quarterback that knows what they're doing and has the guidance now of Paulo De La Rocca in the huddle, and I can only assume he's snapping. Before my time, Mo, right? The Pease is that epitome of that best snapper out there. So that, paired with some of the free agents that I saw at the Combine, right? So names like Dustin Best, Patrick Domza, and some free agents from past seasons, Louis Messier Lavallee. He's seen success with the Eagle in those lockdown teams. So this is a nice core that's been put together as a free agent squad.
The one before I let you go, Iggy, the one team that concerns you in this division is who?
That concerns me, They're all I'm.
Yeah, you worry about them. Like they might have problems in Division 6. I'll give you one that really caught my attention. Trap Stars.
Trap Stars.
Yeah.
What do you mean Trap Stars? That's a Division 4
team.
Oh,
sorry. I'm gonna say. I'm so sorry. I meant. Sorry. I did not mean Trap Stars. Hold on here. I'll tell you exactly who it is.
We went all the way down to from Division 4 to Division
Speak
6.
Easy. Speak Easy. Because the Stars team was originally the Trap Stars. Speak Easy is what I was referring to. I apologize.
You don't feel like their experience can get them some wins?
No, they should. Cheat squad, like they should have been cheat squad, and then they didn't. And I worry about them because they don't have to start throwing the football. He's a receiver now. So easy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Division 6, he doesn't fit as a Division 6 thrower.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to say any of the new teams that that you can see some concerns. The DG Shooters, Chomedy Shows, for example. But I'm okay with Chomedy. They're going to turn it around. I feel like they're starting to get a quick grasp of it. Sort of the same thing with No Fly Zone. That's a team that was Division 6 last year. They're 0-2 right now. I'm not too worried. I'm going to go with Winded Warriors as the team of concern.
Okay, fair enough. And Eggs, I know it's a more abbreviated Div 6 preview. Brent Bach is our writer, and he will be on with us throughout the course of the season. Unfortunately, he wasn't available Tuesday night, but I'm sure he'll be on with you next week or whatever we do for next week's show. But I appreciate you coming on with us, my man.
No
what do you have planned for Tuesday? What do you have planned for Thursday's show? CTA coming up for Thursday.
Well, the divisions you didn't cover, Mo. I mean, let's bring it like that. No, but really, seriously, the divisions you did not get to cover here on part A of week 2's calling the audible, but we'll have contributors talking Division 1 with Dan Lazara and others.
You know what? Here's the tip for you, Eggs. I have to buy a lot of time in between guests.
I figured you would have.
Yeah. I had to buy time. I was like, man, I know what I was saying at one point, man. So it's gonna take time for us to get used to this new format, but it's gonna be fun. Once we get it down, I think it'll be a lot of fun. People will get the flow of it. But I just want to thank Manu Alaroy, Jeff Rosenblatt, Laurie Willette, Zach Abigail's you for coming on. You'll have on Lazara this week. You'll have on the other writers and contributors to the season on the show on Thursday. So CTA will be recorded Thursday. Produced or shown on Friday. Now you go. What time will the podcast go up? 9 a.m. the following day? 9 a.m. following day. So Tuesday's show will be Wednesday, 9 a.m. And then the Thursday will be Friday morning, 9 a.m. Now you go. Thank you so much. Iggy, thanks so much. Match words, Iggy?
No, I don't do that. You know me, Mo. I don't do that.
I know. Good night, Philadelphia Eagles.
Do me like that.
Of course. And we're wrapped up. We're done.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Thanks, Iggs.
No problem. Good night.
Hey, check it.
So.
Hey, check it. Put the place up.